Hello, eRank. Welcome to another Thursday live Q&A with me, Pam, and her, Starla. If you're new here, welcome. We do this every Thursday, either here in the Facebook group or live on YouTube. It's your place to get in all your eRank and Etsy related questions. Hello, Starla.
Hello. We had a decent amount of questions on our Wednesday post, but they're all from Lynn.
Well, thank you very much, Lynn, for keeping us busy.
Yes. So for those who are new here, welcome, welcome. If you want to get questions in and you're afraid you're not going to be able to make it on Thursdays, make sure that you join the eRank group. If you're over on YouTube, that's going to be linked down below in the video description. You can find that post pinned to the top of the eRank group on Facebook every single Wednesday. That way, if you live in a different time zone or you're just unable to make it, but you still have a question, you can get it answered and watch the replay either in the eRank Facebook group or on YouTube. So we'll cover Lynn's questions first, and then you guys are free to take over the chat, ask us anything that you want. You've got our attention for an hour. We can't give you any details, but we keep talking about.
We're sitting on secrets again. We're not allowed to tell.
We've been sitting on a secret for a few weeks now, and we keep telling you that it's coming. Well, now we are positive that it is almost done. This time for real. It should be in the next week or two. You guys are going to get to see something really, really neat that we've been working on, especially Patrick, who is a member of the eRank team. He's been working really, really hard to put something really neat together. So that's coming soon. I'm sure we will post it all over when it's done. Pam and I are going to make videos about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So you better get subscribed to our YouTube channels, and don't forget to keep an eye in the Facebook group, because I'm sure we'll let you know what's happening there. But this is another eRank exclusive, so yeah, you've got to keep an eye out.
Absolutely. It's fun because it's something that nobody else in the world will be able to show you other than eRank. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. I have a feeling that when it goes live, that it's going to be, I want to see it shared by like tech websites.
Cool.
That's
Starla's always got high hopes. I'm just
I
I'm like, I hope people like it. Starla's like, we're going into space with it.
Right, we're going to the moon.
Yeah.
I hope I don't want to play it up too much, because then they'll get it and they'll be like, oh, this isn't neat at all. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do Lynn's 3 questions. Scott hopes that the thing is cookies. Unfortunately, it's not cookies.
Oh, well, Anthony could get us cookies. I'd like cookies.
Yeah, cookies for us.
Yeah.
Not for you guys, just for us. Yeah.
Well, yeah. How many people have we got in the group? It's like, oh, and I don't think we ever said, did we? Because this year we just hit 1 million people have signed up for eRank. So we've just got over that.
Did we make that announcement anywhere? I didn't see.
I don't think we did, but it was like a week or so ago. It was a while ago, so we totally should have announced it.
Anthony doesn't like to brag like that.
Well, don't tell him that we said, but we did, and it's cool. I wonder if I've got confetti anywhere.
Do you have a confetti graphic? Okay, nobody say anything about it. Shh, but
I can't remember where my graphics are. No, I've got a snake or snow. I don't have. That is really.
Well, give us a snake. It's a celebration snake.
Celebration snake. It's really rubbish. That should. Where's it go? It should be there.
Oh, it's our chat heads. Very strange.
Oh well. Okay. I don't see the snake. Right. Whatever.
All right. Let's see. Lynn, we'll power through your 3, and then everybody else, make sure you get some questions into the chat. Otherwise, Pam and I will have nothing to talk about. Lynn asked, do you recommend posting daily on all social media platforms to promote your Etsy shop? For paid advertisements, which platform is spending money on or is worth spending money on? What marketing strategies work best for your business? Thanks so much in advance. So that's I think that we're going to have more than 3 questions because that was 3
That's
questions.
true. Well, yeah, that was a lot of questions.
Yeah. So,
Excellent.
first one was, do you recommend posting daily on all social media platforms? Personally, I do it and I don't have to. Um, the biggest business owners in the world will tell you that be consistent with your social media. Try to post daily. There's going to be days where you can't. There's going to be days when you just you can't. And then if you sit around feeling guilty about not being able to post that day, it's wasted energy. Try your best to post on all social media platforms. No, I've got some that I don't post on daily, and I post on all of them. I've got every single platform I'm on it, and I use a scheduling app to distribute out all that content. But there are some pieces of content that I create where the caption is what matters, big long caption. Twitter doesn't get a post that day. There are sometimes when I have a cool video that goes out on my social media, and there are platforms. I don't think Twitter can't do videos on Twitter. I can't remember what platforms can't do videos. LinkedIn doesn't get a post that day. So really, it's building a content strategy for yourself that you can maintain depending on you. If that's 4 days a week, maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday you post, then do that. And then after you get used to that, maybe you could sprinkle in a little extra post. But don't stress too much about it.
Yeah, Starla is a superwoman. But even as she's saying there, and you've done some videos on this and everything as well, she schedules out her social media. She
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
sit every single day. Like, I see a Facebook thing at like really early my time going, Starla Moore's posted. Like, no, she's
No, I
not.
didn't. No, I didn't.
Starla's sleeping just now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then I wake up to a bunch of comments. Yeah, I
Yeah.
schedule my entire month. Like, for example, I'm stressing right now because I don't have anything lined up for February. So probably tomorrow I'll sit and think of 28 different posts for February, and I will sit and schedule them all out ahead of time. And there's lots of different sites you can do this. I use Later. Tailwind is an option. Canva Pro even has a scheduling content scheduler. The Meta Business Suite, if you want to, do it for free. Facebook and Instagram, and if you've got a Facebook group, you can schedule to all 3 of those places. In fact, I use Later for LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and sometimes TikTok. But even though Facebook and Instagram are connected, I still just use the Meta Business Suite because I've heard that Meta prefers if you're scheduling within their own scheduler, and that it can help your reach. I don't know how true that is, but doesn't take any extra time to pop open one more tab and do that. So
Exactly. I mean, I'm guessing because you're asking, you're starting up doing this.
mhm.
And so I wouldn't look at how much time you have in your day, but I don't think most of us, especially when you're starting up your business and you're starting up getting busier, if you're making like one sale a month or whatever, and you have other things to be doing, I'd look at building these kind of things up slowly. As we say, Starla's a superwoman, and she also has really great social media. If I decided to jump into all my platforms just now and post on all of them every single day of the week, I would burn out and I would have practically no engagement for that because I'm way behind there. So yes, get yourself a schedule. That's super important. It can be important, like you guys know, every Thursday here we are at this time, which really helps you to know when to come in. So things like that can help. But on a lot of platforms, it's not going to be huge that people come back at a certain time. They're not necessarily quite so much. So don't beat yourself up if you're late or something. But if you have a schedule in your head that you say, maybe 3 times a week, I'm going to post, and you can even think to yourself, on Mondays, I'm going to post this kind of thing, on Wednesdays, I'm going to post this kind of thing, then you have things set up in your head that's a bit easier. Maybe it's going to be, I mean, what used to be always a thing, motivational Mondays. Can you have something a bit motivational for your followers? Work in progress Wednesdays, Taco Fridays, I don't know. But something that just gives you an idea to make it a bit easier. And the other huge thing with anything is you don't just post it and leave it. As Starla says, she wakes up to loads of messages. Starla engages with her audience, which is
Most
really
of the time.
important. Yeah, no, as much as she can. She
Don't
is,
hold me to it.
yeah, she is Superwoman, but I know she's getting loads of messages, so she engages as much as she can now. When you're just starting out, you absolutely should be engaging with
Yes.
everything. But you should also be looking at what's working. Certain types of posts work better on certain platforms. Certain things will work better with your followers. So don't just go for quantity. Push it. You say for a month, I'm going to go and do this, and then at the end of the month, look and go, what kind of things worked better? Should I narrow in a little bit more on that? What platform worked better? Maybe I could focus a little more towards the things that are working on that platform. So yeah, don't
Um,
don't say every day of the week if it's going to burn you out. I,
oh
I've
yeah.
I've done that a lot. I've said, right, I'm doing it. I'm going to post every day to Pinterest and Instagram and everything, and I think I get a month and a half before I rage quit.
Yeah. Start slow. And we're still not even halfway through all of Lynn's first question. But I did want to acknowledge over on YouTube, the Weird World asked, can't that hurt? That there might be more viewers and few buyers if you had a lot of people from social media. That is a myth. You're having people come to your Etsy shop or your listings from social media is not going to hurt your visibility. If that were the case, then every time Etsy themselves promotes like a creator in their editor's picks or through their emails, it would destroy that shop because more people are going to look than what are going to buy. So yeah, absolute myth.
Yeah, the only way you can hurt yourself on social media by posting things that people aren't interested in. Say,
Yes.
like your Facebook page. If you decided to post every single listing that you listed whenever you listed it and 100 times a day, your family and friends might go over and look at it that once. But then they're going to stop looking because they're a bit bored of you. And then Facebook is going to look and go, oh, Pam's posts are a bit boring. We're going to stop showing them. How often do you hear people say, oh, I don't get any reach on Facebook? You don't get reach because Facebook thinks your posts are boring because nobody's interacted with them. So you can hurt yourself by posting things that people don't like. So, but you've got to experiment. But look at the things that are getting the most engagement from people and aim more for things like that. But yeah, definitely getting loads of views from social media is a good thing. It's not. It's either a neutral thing or it's a good thing. It's not going to hurt you.
All right. I see a couple more questions coming in on YouTube, so we'll get to you guys in just a minute. We still have a couple from over in the Facebook group. Lynn also asked for paid advertisements, which platform is worth spending money on? There's no answer to that. It depends on your goals, who your demographics are, how good you are at optimizing those ads. You're going to have to learn a little bit. You can't just throw money at it and expect it to take off. There's just too many factors that play into it. I will say that of all the current ad platforms, Facebook in particular seems to really be sticking to targeting high dollar ad spend. So what they want are, people who are willing to put in lots and lots and lots of money because you're competing with like Nike and Starbucks and all the big brands on Facebook. But that doesn't mean that you won't be successful. It just means you're going to have to do a lot more research into your targeting. So if I were you, spend some time learning about all of them: Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and I mean, I guess those would be the big ones unless you wanted to learn some. I think that TikTok ads would be a whole other ball game because they would have to be video content. But it wouldn't hurt to look into it. decide which one you feel is going to be good for you. Look at the primary demographics of those platforms to make sure that the people you're trying to reach are even using those platforms, and then decide which one you want to experiment with. But they're all going to take some level of learning,
Yeah,
because they're all
none.
pretty complicated.
Yeah, they're not just pay money and you get sales. You have to get your data, you have to target your ads, you have to do a lot of work. So I would research before you put money into it. And probably one of the quicker way to research is with Etsy offsite ads. See which platform's working on them. That might be a good step in. I haven't got any sales from social media on Etsy offsite ads. It's all from Google so far, but I know some people get some really good sales from other places. That's a good hint. If it's doing well, like if you're getting loads of sales from Facebook that way, might be worth looking at.
Yeah. All right. So last one for this particular post is, what marketing strategies work best for your business? Pam, you go first,
Thanks,
because
Stella.
I want to know. I'm curious.
um, yeah, that's such a huge question. My main marketing strategy is SEO. Um, because it sounds like such a cop out, but that's what it's always been. That's your like easy button to get in, because especially like on Etsy, the people who are searching on Etsy are the people with their pocketbooks open looking to sell. So that's the easiest place to market first. And after that, it really depends. And by marketing, I mean picking good SEO. I don't mean throwing money into ads. It's just finding good keywords, making good products. Um, After that, it really depends the demographic of your audience, as Starla says, and what kind of things. For me, as I make animal sculptures, and I have dogs and I love hanging around in groups with dog lovers. My marketing strategy was to hang around in groups with dog lovers, get to know them and see what they were into and things, make friends with people, and they started buying things from me. It's it's a very slow burn, but a really good way of marketing without spamming. And then after that, it is just learning learning new things. What are the thing, okay, animal lovers, dog lovers in specific, dog lovers and cat lovers, what do they like? Cute cats. So my marketing was on how do I gear towards getting people to go, look at that, and share it with their friends. um, I am not great at marketing. I mainly dive back into SEO because I like numbers and I'm a geek. But that is the place I would say most people should start, unless you're a whiz at anything else.
Yeah. So there's two ways to market. Pam is the SEO side. I dare say that I'm the external marketing side, where I do primarily utilize social media, and I always have utilized social media to drive the traffic flood, um, which also helps with SEO, because as you start accumulating those sales in your Etsy shop, Etsy's like, hey, people like this, let's show it to more people, and which can, help those products be seen by more people and thus make more sales on Etsy. But I will say the same thing that I say no matter what you're selling, whether it be, product, services, digital, print on demand. I even use it to sell my book that I wrote. Create content of value to the people that you want to sell to, that doesn't necessarily need to be all about your product. If you sell, crystal jewelry, but your social media is all about, metaphysical, for example, maybe you could talk like 10 tips about crystal healing, or um, maybe you could talk about how to use certain herbs in your home. You can cater to your audience and create content that is valuable to them, based on things that are congruent to your brand, but not necessarily what you sell. if you sell 70s themed apparel, since that's super popular on Etsy right now, maybe you have guides on how to achieve different 70s looks. Maybe you post, inspirational outfits that famous 70s celebrities wore and equivalents, of, you can't find this jacket anymore from, this popular brand, but I found, here's a listing on this website where you can find it. You can also get an undershirt from my shop that will match it. You can pair things together. There's just so much that you can do on social media, but creating content that's valuable rather than just trying to sell. Nobody likes to be sold to. Nobody likes to go into the car dealership or the carpet store and have somebody right up their butt saying, "Hey, hi, how you doing? Hey, you want to buy this? You want to buy?" Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. And if you're using your social media like that, then people are going to get burned out on that because they get it. Oh, yes, we get it. You want to sell. You want to sell. You should be selling on your social media, but what can you also provide of value? That way you can start generating the type of people who are actually interested in buying your product. And then you can sprinkle your product in along with that overall theme. So that's
Yeah.
my generic advice for any business.
It's well, that's kind of basically what we both said in in different ways, isn't it? It's like the whole point of social media is nobody's going to like it if you keep selling.
Yeah.
So people used to say join groups that are relevant, and the thing is, people would join groups and go, here's my listing, why did I get kicked off and banned from so many groups? It's because you're not providing value. So whatever you're doing, if your marketing is to join other groups, it's to join the groups and give value. You talk to people, you get to know them, and you only post your link when someone says, hey, has anyone got any skeleton key necklaces? And Starla could go, because Starla's an authority that people really love on that site. She can go, oh, actually, I do, and post a link then. That's the time to post the link. It's not the time when you just walk straight in the door. So it's this, any of the social media, it's about providing value.
Yeah. Think of it like a cocktail party. You don't go into the cocktail party pitching your business, but if somebody says, what do? You can use that as an opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the few comments that we have over on YouTube, and then we'll get back to Lynn's questions since she's got a couple more for us. G. Standifer over on YouTube. Do you add a little bar displaying the extra color or colors available in your Etsy listing photos? I did when I did birthstone jewelry. I had on the thumbnail, like over here on the edge, I would put all of the crystal options. It worked for me. I think that it's really going to depend on how you display, because I've seen people display it and it looks really clunky. But
Yeah,
we do
you
it now
just
with
had the
adaptive
little
too.
colours. Yeah, yours was really, your pictures were elegant with just the little pops of colours.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can do it and it looks good. I don't do it because it's not relevant. But if
Right.
you if you have colours, then absolutely do it.
All right. And then let's see. I'm gonna butcher your name. Michelle de Michelle. I'm not sure what your name is. Pam, you want to take a crack at that one?
I knew you were going to do that. Michelle de Bruin. Let's go with that.
Okay. She said that she asked for information about the affiliate program, which eRank does have an affiliate program now. I believe it's just erank.com/affiliates. Affiliates. It's one of those. Type them both. You'll figure it out.
It's
But
down at the bottom of eRank now. There is a link for affiliate.
she said that she wanted, or that we asked for examples of your Medium posts. I'm not sure what that could
You mean
be.
social media posts?
Oh, social media posts. Is
I'm
that what we
guessing.
requested?
I don't know what we request, but that would make sense. Yeah, just to see examples of if we have an affiliate, not course, a program. That's it. For anyone who doesn't know, scroll down at the bottom of eRank, and this is for I think Starla, you know better than me, but if you're an influencer with a big following, or trying to remember the other things, but basically, if you're an influencer and you're telling people about eRank, then we have this as an option for to thank you. Basically, people are doing all this for free for us, and we really appreciate it. So it's a little thing you get. There's going to be like little trainings and stuff when new things are out to help you know what's going on better.
Yeah. She said your shop's name, your social media URL handle, and examples of your Medium posts. That sounds like a typo.
Oh, yes.
That
Yeah.
that sounds like somebody made a typo in our request form. So I will bring that up with Anthony. But I'm assuming that what he meant was examples of your social media posts. Maybe I would say just take a screenshot of if you've got an Instagram feed or wherever it is that you're posting that content. We just want to make sure that that the people who are doing our affiliate program aren't, selling like their nudies and then eRank right next to their nudies, which, for anybody who does, not that you sell nudies, but anybody who, does sell nudies, that's fine, but probably not congruent with the eRank, overall brand message. So Medium is just plain feed pictures. Yeah, I would just take a screenshot of your feed. That would be fine.
Yeah, it's not going to be too strict as far
No.
as I know, but we just want to like make sure that you're, which I'm sure you are, you're decent people that, and we want talking about the brand rather. This was always the fear starting an affiliate program, was that you're going to get lots of people coming in who are just like, who just talk about these things because they're getting paid to talk about them, kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's not what we wanted. We wanted to thank the people that are using eRank and loving eRank and talking about it anyway. So that's the thing. So we're just making sure you're those kind of people, and not the people who are just all about making money by lying to people about what they use, kind of people.
Exactly. I'll send Anthony a message here in a minute and tell him to take a peek at that. All right, and it appears, let's see, we did have one more from Linda. We'll go ahead and grab that one and then we'll get back to Lynn's. Let's see. So new listings give you a minuscule bump in Etsy, probably because the bots have to sniff around and see what's new. Kind of. They want to see, how shoppers are interacting with that post, so it takes a little time. Do renewals work the same? I'm thinking not, because it's already been scanned. So do new listings have a more probability of sale in Etsy's eyes than renewals?
Etsy
Etsy,
told us that renewals do give you a bump in search.
yeah,
Neither of them is huge. They also told us in the same post not to use renewals or creating new listings as your strategy. It's just something that's there. It's much better to work on good SEO. One thing, if as Starla was saying there, you get the bump in search because they're trying to learn about your SEO. Is your listing, what happens when your listing is shown for that keyword? Do customers react to it well? So if you have a listing and it's had that bump, and then you renew it and you renew it and you renew it, and every time you renew it, people are people have seen it and are not clicking on it and are not liking it, then over time Etsy's going to be like, hold on, we've learned enough about this item, sorry mate, this item's a bit rubbish. So that bump is going to get less and less. It's just there to, well, not to, it's not there to help you, it's to help Etsy find out if your listing is what you've said in the keywords. And if we show them to customers, do customers like it? So if customers like it and start buying it, then everything's great. If they don't, I occasionally give an extra renew just because maybe I wasn't shown at a great time or whatever. But after that, I'm just like, I need to make this listing better. I've done something wrong here.
yeah. All right. I see that we have a question from Paige and one from Samantha on Facebook. We'll go ahead and blast through Lynn's last two because I think we can answer those pretty quickly, and then we'll get to pages. So Lynn asked, which shipping strategy works best for the most shops, free shipping, paid shipping, or free shipping after buying items with a certain amount? Again, that's one that there's no answer to. It's going to be completely dependent on the target audience. And the only way to really get the appropriate answer is to experiment in your own shop, because what you see in your shop might be completely different than what Pam will see in her shop, for example, just based on the type of person who's buying. Maybe if Pam's audience is all like women over 45 and your audience is all, you know, men in their 20s, then maybe Pam's audience loves the idea of free shipping, but the men in their 20s, they don't care either way. So it's worth testing it for yourself.
Yeah, but don't be costing yourself anything. Remember to roll those prices in. There is no such thing as free shipping. So
yes. And then the last one from Lynn is, given having a good design, what type of apparel mock-ups work best in catching buyers' attention on the search results page? Lifestyle mock-ups, flat lays, or hanging apparel? That, once again, there's no answer to that. They'll all work just fine, but it's going to completely depend on your overall brand, how you have, the designs that are on those products, what you look like in a search page compared to everybody else. I really don't think that there's anything wrong with any of them. It's just test it for yourself. And it can change by season. Around Christmas time, people might love lifestyle mock-ups, but then come springtime, they don't anymore. And then you switch to flat lays and they love the flat lays. So it can change nonstop, always, forever.
oh, always be working on that first photo. And I think with clothes, very much it's going to depend on the type, the price, the size of the clothing, how it looks best. I think for any of them, as important at least, is your lighting, your background, how you've styled it. I've seen some very beautiful flat lays, and I've seen people drop a t-shirt on a kitchen counter flat lay. There's no right or wrong here, but always be tweaking. And as Starla said, depends on what the other things in that you're competing with are. Have a look and see what other people are doing and what you like the look of, to give you, not to copy people, but to give you inspiration for a direction, for a style that you like as well.
Yeah, and here's just like a personal tip, and I'm not pulling this from any proven data or any sources, but I would dare say that if you're just using or recycling the standard mock-ups that you receive from Printful or Printify, and you go to a search page and every other seller is using those exact same mock-ups, it might be worth your time to either remove the background or utilize your own backgrounds. You can remove backgrounds with Canva Pro, or use somewhere else like Placeit, where you can type in, if you're using Bella Canvas tees, you can search specifically for mock-ups that are that utilize Bella Canvas tees, and get more unique mock-ups. And even if you're using the same photos as everybody else, you might still see success. But if you want to stand out a little bit more, there are other options. It depends on what your particular niche looks like in terms of saturation and people using the exact same mock-ups over and over and over again. So,
Oh, exactly. There's so much creative things you can do. Even using the same mock-ups, you can edit them somewhat to make them better.
yeah. All right, let's see. Hopping over to Facebook again, Paige asked, 3-month Etsy seller. I want to make the easiest website for a newbie. Order your recommendations. And do they all include email gathering software? They do not. However, I personally have really enjoyed Wix. I'm sure that there are plenty of
Yeah,
other
I've
ones
used Wix
that
for years. It's so easy.
I like Wix. It did include email gathering software. I've got my email list for my book run through Wix's. I can't remember what. It's not MailerLite. I can't remember what it is. I think it starts with an A. but they have an email gathering software, and right from your like back end you can send emails and stuff. I really like it. It only took me like a day to make the website for my book. If you want to snoop it, it's explorethechannel.com. And Pam, do you have a site example?
Nothing I want to share just now.
Okay. Well, feel free to poke around mine just to see like what the animation, you can add animations to pretty much everything on the screen. You do have the option to add, some ecom like plugins. I've got one run through Printify, and it works pretty well. I've gotten orders on it, and it seems to all be connected right. So yeah, Wix is my favorite, but I'm sure that there are plenty of others like Squarespace and yada yada. I just remember when I was doing the research, Wix was the one that appealed the most to me. And it was very quick to set up. And I am not good at building websites, so it didn't
Yeah.
take me very long.
I think, yeah, like I think Squarespace is the same now, but Wix just has so many templates and things that you just pick the template of the kind of thing you like. It's pretty quick to get something that looks reasonable.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun to use.
It is. It is. I remember back in the day when we used to build our own websites with HTML and everything. So when we got onto Wix, it was like, wow,
You can just drag things.
exactly.
No
Look,
coding.
yeah. So yes, it's so much nicer.
All right. And Samantha, if I have a listing that I need to renew after 4 months of no sales, I am totally revisiting all of my tags and titles, photos, descriptions, etc. before I renew it. I don't think that was a question. I think that was a statement.
Statement, yes.
I
And
was
lots
reading
of
it
people
with a
do, yeah.
question inflection.
Yeah. Lots of people do that, and I totally understand. I have, however, because I'm lazy. This is not an experiment I did, it's just an accidental experiment. But I have quite a few listings that can sit around for 8 months and do nothing, and then out of nowhere, they're my bestseller. So I totally recommend if you have enough listings and like me, it's not actually costing you in stock or anything. I'm not holding any stock. But just let some things run and see what happens. Because sometimes my bestseller over Christmas, just literally, and you can get, I'm sure it was Dog Bookmark. And if you look in eRank, you can see a spike in searches came out of nowhere for Dog Bookmark. I didn't know that was going to happen. I could have been tweaking my listing, trying to chase the right thing, but sometimes, as they say, a stopped clock's right twice a day. Sometimes you get a bit lucky. So if you're in the right place, sometimes you just got to stay there till the right time happens.
Awesome.
But I know it works for a lot of people to renew. Like I know 4 months is a long time for a lot of people.
All right. Her actual question, I read it with such a question inflection. My 5-year-old bestseller started to slow 2 years ago, now hardly sell at all. I was too scared to change any tags before Christmas and they completely flopped. Do I finally take the plunge and update them? I have new different bestsellers now, thankfully, that are selling really well. So my overall sales are up. Yeah, in fact, I made a video like 3 weeks ago on how to make an Etsy listing sell. And it was basically like the order of operations that I would go through if I had like a listing that wasn't selling, what I would do before I touched SEO, because I would try to tweak other things before touching SEO. Samantha, you've been running your business so long though, and you know what works. So you would probably be able to, you probably have a better sense of what works, and maybe these listings just aren't being seen the way that they should. So it's totally up to you. But I would say it's probably safe if 2 years have passed.
Yeah, it's tough. I am definitely seeing and hearing from a lot of people, especially it's been changing. And well, we knew that there's been a pandemic, the world has changed. But definitely like coming up to Christmas and everything as well, what people are buying is changing a little bit. And this will happen. Samantha, your listing's 5 years old. I've got some listings that are 13 years old now. People search for slightly different things. People like slightly different pictures. So absolutely check and see, decide, what maybe is it that's causing the slow. I would, your keywords that brought you all the traffic, get into eRank and check, have those keywords stopped working? The places where your traffic was coming from. I had one of my cat bookmarks for years. It was shared crazily on Pinterest. And then 2021, the tap just switched off. It wasn't even me sharing it, so there was nothing I could particularly do there, but things change. But if you can go in and look, and when I saw, okay, it's Pinterest that's changed, well, I'm not really going to hurt it by changing anything, because I wasn't actually getting any views from Etsy SEO anyway. So yeah, look, figure out what has changed before you start changing things. Are you not ranking? Are people not searching? Is it not getting shared where it used to get shared? And then maybe start playing around with it. It could well be a photo update wouldn't hurt it at all if it's 5 years old.
Yeah. Her photos are all so styled and cohesive, though, that they're all almost identical. So if one listing just isn't selling, then when others with identical styled photos are, then it would be hard to really say.
It could just be a simple case of, if the other ones that are selling are ones that are so similar to that one, it could just be they started doing better and they took the spot. That kind of happens as well. They're getting seen where it used to get seen.
Yeah.
It's tough. I feel sad when a bestseller decides to not be anymore, but it's the nature of business.
All right, back to YouTube. Siri asked, in the Etsy ad dashboard, there's an update your goal. Tell us about your ad goals. Does answering this affect placement of your ads, or is this just for Etsy to gather data on our ad goals? I would assume
we had this question in the Facebook group a few months ago. I actually asked Etsy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I was 99% sure, but I just wanted to check. It's just Etsy data gathering. Because we had a whole bunch of people months ago, and they were saying, I've filled in this thing and my ads haven't changed. I'm like, you filled in what thing? What now? And Etsy has just got, what are the goals of you advertising? You want to get more. I mean, what is the goals of anyone advertising? They want more sales. But yeah, it does nothing for us. It's just Etsy gathering data.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe they'll send you more emails to support your goals, more tips, and I don't look at Etsy emails unless it's something that says update or something in it. I just ignore their emails.
Yes, but they are not changing your ads in any way based on that thing. Anyway.
All right. The weird world again. Let's see. I'd actually asked this question on Facebook. I think Pam responded, but it was, if you can search for eRank. Okay, search on eRank for a bestseller. What sells well, not to copy, but to make your own project. I know that it's not a certainty that it will also sell well, but to have an idea. No, and sales, providing that level of sales data isn't nice. It's not, you wouldn't want somebody when you're selling well to be identifying your best sellers. And even if your goal isn't to copy, maybe somebody else's is. Etsy doesn't like when that type of data gets shared. So no, and it's not something that we will ever be able to add, because it just rides that line of, not being the most ethical, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you can use the keyword tool to search for keywords on your niche and see what's ranking, get ideas for different keywords. I would always be aiming for, more importantly, what are customers searching for rather than what are sellers doing. Because what sellers are doing is like months behind the curve. As we've seen, sadly, with Samantha saying her bestseller is not selling so well just now. So we need to find out what it is that customers want at this minute in time. That's far more important. So you can use the keyword tool, depending on what niche and everything you're in, the trend buzz and everything, to see what people are searching for. Like yesterday is super handy to get an idea of the actual things that are trending. I'd prefer to lead the trends rather than try and follow someone else's coattails.
That appears to be all the questions that we've had so far, but I did remember a bit of news now that we've got everybody here. I don't think that this is going to be relevant to anybody that I'm actually seeing in the chat right now, but Anthony made the announcement this morning that we're working on getting the site translated into Turkish and Ukrainian. So that is available now in the top right corner of your account when you're logged in. You can change, and we've also had French for a while now, but we are slowly but surely getting some translations in there. So that's fun.
Yep, trying our best there. Oh, I just seen this from no bad intent. No, it's not a bad question at
No,
all.
not at all.
We're just carefully trying to answer it, basically. It's not a bad question, and so many people think that at the start, but we're not saying it's bad to try and copy someone. We're saying it's really difficult. Like, if someone's got a bestseller and you're not directly copying their item, but you get an idea of their keywords and whatever else, they're the superstar in that kind of niche. It's really difficult to jump on their coattails. So yes, we're not. It was a good question. It's just a careful one. We've got to answer it carefully more.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a lot in the past, but you could find the top seller in your industry. Maybe you sell dog mom shirts, and you could find the top seller on Etsy that makes dog mom shirts, and you could hypothetically create the exact same product as them, take their exact images, use their exact tags and titles and descriptions. You could basically replicate their entire shop and listings, and your listing still wouldn't appear in search next to theirs, because that's just not how Etsy's ranking works. Etsy likes to see shops that have, a sales history and who have been around a while and who have gotten good reviews. And then once that trust is built, Etsy recommends those shops more often. And those are the shops that you see ranking the highest. When you first start out, you got to put in a little bit more work. You gotta convince Etsy that you're trustworthy, and it doesn't necessarily even matter if you're using the very best keywords. It takes time. Not that we're saying that you would ever steal everybody's listings and descriptions and whatnot, but with that just being an example, it can take a lot of time, even with a completely unique product, to be able to rank and search next to those big guys, which is why I really like social media marketing, because then if you're not showing to enough people in Etsy search, and not enough people are finding you organically, you can always drive some traffic yourself. You can always utilize Instagram, and you guys know I love Instagram Reels and TikToks, and you can try to generate some traffic yourself.
Absolutely, yes, but it's much easier to find your own niche kind of thing. Not so nichely weird that you're never found at all, but finding your own little gap in the market and building up and becoming the superstar there. Other news I nearly forgot, actually, for UK sellers and for people who've bought from UK sellers. Royal Mail just announced this morning that they're starting to accept tracked and signed for international packages. So hopefully that means all international packages soon. I don't think Etsy's updated yet. I don't think we can buy shipping labels yet, but it's at least a good step forward. I'm a little bit fed up of refunding people just now.
Man, Amber, now that we're out of questions, so let me tell you about Amber, who lives in the UK. We found, first of all, we found out when she was here that she was my very first student. 30 seconds after my course opened, she enrolled. So
Oh.
the fact that we've gotten so close when it started out as nothing more than a transaction is just mind blowing. But Amber received lots and lots of US and Canada orders that she couldn't ship. And rather than refunding them, she switched her Etsy shop to US, purchased her labels with my address. Some of them she shipped without labels, put them all in a giant box, which she could mail, shipped the giant box to me. I labeled up the ones that needed to be labeled and took them all to the post office for her. And I remember doing it just thinking like, oh, I thought I was done with this. This is why I do print on demand now. And here I am shipping
I
orders.
love that she's put you to work. That's great.
But I posted in her Facebook group with me taking a selfie holding her big box of orders. And I was like, no other business owner would do this. Nobody but Amber would do this. This is what being a good business owner looks like. So, yeah.
So everybody in the UK, just send your parcels to Starla. Like, no, don't.
No, I wouldn't do that for anybody else.
She's
But
done
yeah,
with that now.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm done with that. We did have a comment on YouTube that said I bought international sign labels from Royal Mail and dropped them off at Delivery Depot today. However, post office was not informed yet.
Oh, yes, that is a problem. For those that don't know, in the UK, the Post Office and the Royal Mail are sort of two different companies, and they don't talk to each other very well, but they're also the same company. So, yeah, it makes no sense. But yes, the Post Office is often last to know. So, yeah, I'm not going to rush out. If you have wiggle room with your shipping time, use the wiggle room, because that's going to take a bit of time for them to sort through whatever backlogs they've got happening.
And just communicate with your buyers, because most of them, if you say, hey, my entire country isn't able to ship right now, your buyers will understand. And then you can offer them a refund. Say, I can either hold this for you for a couple days, or I can issue you a refund, because that's better than getting a bunch of bad reviews, and which
Oh,
can hurt your
absolutely.
shop.
I mean, I'm saying I'm fed up refunding, but they're all like, can I get a refund just now? And I will be back kind of customers that,
Yeah.
and probably most of them will be back. So.
All right. Well, it's been a while with no questions, so I think that we're good to go. Guys, thanks for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you join the eRank Facebook group down below. That way, any time of the week, you can ask questions. Not only do we have all of the eRank staff in there, but we've got tons of members who know tons about Etsy SEO who are happy to help you with your questions. And then if you want Pam and I to answer questions, but maybe you're afraid that you're not going to be able to make it to one of these live streams, every Wednesday in the eRank group, there will be a post pinned right to the top of the group announcements that Pam makes, that you can get your questions in early, and that way we can make sure that we cover them so that you can at least listen to us answer it during the replay. But guys, thanks so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.